Hi everyone, welcome to the course on solutions. In the previous video, we have discussed about the problems on osmotic pressure and how to calculate the molar mass of the solute by using the osmotic pressure. Now, we will move to the next concept in the solutions, that is abnormal molar mass. So before moving, what does this abnormal molar mass means? First, we should know what is the exact meaning of colligative properties. So, you know, colligative properties are the properties which mainly depends upon the number of solute particles irrespective of their nature of solute as well as solvent. Now, you have calculated the molar mass of the solute by using four types of colligative properties. Those are relative lowering of vapor pressure, osmotic pressure, depression of freezing point and elevation of freezing point. Now, those molar masses which are calculated by using these four colligative properties are not exactly same as the actual value of the molar masses of the solute. Then, why these things will be observed? Since we have derived the formulas according to laws and calculated the molar mass, but then also we won't get the exact molar mass of the solute. It is because as you know, the colligative properties mainly dependent on number of solute particles present in the solution. If I consider an ionic compound, for example, the KCl, okay, KCl, potassium chloride, it is present in a solid state. When it is present in a solid state, we will write it as KCl. Now, if I dissolve this KCl into the water, then it will undergo dissociation and forms K plus and Cl minus ions. Suppose I have taken 1 mole of KCl, okay, 1 mole of KCl, that means 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 number of KCl's ions are present. Now, upon dissolution, the number of K plus ions will become 6.022 into 10 raised to 23 and the number of Cl minus ions is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. So this much number of K plus ions and this much number of Cl minus ions will be formed upon dissolving in water. That means initially, before dissolving it into water, the number of KCl particles is 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. Then if they undergoes dissociation, then the number of particles increases. It becomes as exactly nearly twice that of the initial value. So, due to the change in number of particles upon dissolving it into the solvent, the molar mass of those solutes will also changes. Okay, this is the one of the reason for change in the values of molar masses. You won't get the exact value as that of the actual value when compared to these values which are calculated by using the colligative properties. One of the reason is the particles will undergo dissociation upon addition in the solvent. Now, take another example. For example, acetic acid, CH3COOH. Okay, CH3COOH twice. 2 molecules of acetic acid are present. Now, I will dissolve it in benzene. Okay, here benzene acts as a solvent. When the acetic acid gets dissolved in benzene, then it will form a hydrogen bond. Okay, this can be represented as CH3, C double bond O, COOH. I will take another molecule, that is O H C double bond O CH3. Okay, these are two acetic acid molecules. Now this is the hydrogen atom and this is more electronegative oxygen atom. In between these two, the hydrogen bonding will be formed. Due to that, the two molecules, they get combined and form a single molecule, and it is known as dimerization. Okay, and these will undergo dimerize. Okay, di means two units, mer means units. So the two units, they will get combined and undergo association. Okay, so you can observe in one of the case, you can observe the dissociation of molecules will take place, and in another case the association of molecules will take place. Initially here how many number of molecules are there? Two molecules, but when they will undergo association, a single large molecule will be formed due to dimerization. Okay, and that takes place due to association, and this will leads to the change in the number of particles, and due to the change in number of particles, as you know, the colligative properties are mainly dependent on number of particles. The values of delta TB, that is elevation of boiling point, and delta TF, depression of freezing point, these values will alter due to the change in the number of particles, and hence the molar mass of the solute, which is calculated by using these colligative properties, are having different values as compared to the actual value of the molar mass of solute. So this change in the molar mass of the solute, okay, either it is higher value or it is having lower value than expected value, that change in molar mass is known as abnormal molar mass. Okay, it is not having normal molar mass, it is having abnormal molar mass, and the reason for this abnormal molar mass is either association or another reason is dissociation. When a molecule will undergo either dissociation or association, the molar mass of the solute gets changes, which is calculated by using the delta TB or delta TF or any other colligative property. Okay, then you can observe the abnormal molar mass. Okay, and the formulas that we have derived for relative lowering of vapor pressure, how we will calculate that? P1 naught minus P1 divided by P1 naught is equal to N2 divided by N1. This is the formula for relative lowering of vapor pressure. And another formula for depression of freezing point is delta TF is equal to Kf into M. And for elevation of boiling point, delta TB is equal to Kb into M. And for osmotic pressure, pi is equal to N2 RT divided by V. So these are the formulas that we have derived, okay, by using certain laws. Now, but when we use these formulas, we will get the different answers for molar mass of the solute. Now, how to make that error into correction? Okay, we have to correct this formula in order to get the same value as that of the molar mass of the solute that is to be expected. Now, in order to modify these formulas, one scientist known as Van't Hoff, okay, Van't Hoff, he has introduced one term or one factor that is indicated as I, okay, and this I is substituted in these formulas in order to get the expected value. That is, here I value is greater than 1 for dissociation. If you get the value of I greater than 1, then it is for dissociation. If I is less than 1, the value of I is less than 1, then it shows the molecule will undergo association. Okay, so you need to calculate the value of I, whether I is greater than 1 or I is less than 1. So as you know, for association, the value of Van 't Hoff factor is I is less than 1. And for dissociation, the value of I, that is Van 't Hoff factor, is I is greater than 1. Now, how to calculate the value of I in order to know whether the molecule will undergo association or dissociation? Now see here, these are some formulas which are used to calculate the value of I. So what are those formulas? Here I is equal to normal molar mass upon abnormal molar mass. Okay. If I substitute the values of normal molar mass divided by abnormal molar mass, means normal molar mass means the expected value that we already know, the exact value of the molar mass of the solute, that we have to substitute. And abnormal molar mass means here whatever the molar mass that we have got by using when we calculate by using the relative lowering of vapor pressure or depression of freezing point, elevation of boiling point or osmotic pressure. These values are abnormal. Okay, means they will give the abnormal molar masses of the solute. If we substitute the value of normal molar mass of the solute and abnormal molar mass of the solute, then we will get the value of I. By using that I value, we can able to calculate, we can able to know whether the molecule will undergo association or molecule will undergo dissociation. So for example, if I consider the KCl, its molecular mass is how much? Normal molar mass, that is KCl. K is 40 plus 35.5. How much it becomes? 75.5 divided by abnormal molar mass. If you calculate the value of molar mass of the KCl by using these formulas, then its value will be around about 37.5. So if I simplify this, I will get the value nearly equal to the 2. That means the value of I is equal to 2. Now tell me whether I is greater than 1 or less than 1. If it is 2, then it shows that I is greater than 1. Then the KCl, will it undergo association or dissociation? It is, since it is greater than 1, see here, I is greater than 1 for dissociation. That means the KCl will undergo dissociation because here I is greater than 1. And for KCl, the value of I is approximately is equal to 2. So this is how we can calculate the value of I, and by using that we can able to find the molecule will undergo association or dissociation. Then another formula is total number of moles of particles after association or dissociation, number of moles of particles before association or dissociation. So if I consider the acetic acid CH3COOH twice, okay, already I have taken it as an example. Now how many molecules are there? 2 molecules. Now substitute the values. Total number of moles of particles after association or dissociation. When the acetic acid is dissolved in benzene, it will undergo association, and hence it will combines up and dimerizes, and the number of particles will become 1, because both the two particles will combine to form a large molecule, that is a dimer of acetic acid. Now, number of moles of particles before association or dissociation. Before adding it to the benzene, how many acetic acid molecules are there? 2 molecules. So, divide it by 2. So, how much you will get? That is 0.5. So, I value is less than 1. Here you get less than 1. So, what it represents? I is less than 1 means it will undergo association. So, this is how, by using the Van't Hoff factor, we can able to find the association or dissociation of a molecule. And 2 main reasons for abnormal molar mass of the solute. Now, by using this Van't Hoff factor, we can get the approximate value as that of the expected value, and that can be obtained by modifying these equations. So here Van't Hoff introduced the I values, okay, in these formulas. If we write or if you substitute the value of I in these formulas, okay, then you will get the approximate molar mass of the solute. So these are the modified equations of colligative properties, which includes the Van't Hoff factors. Okay, so this is all about the abnormal molar mass. Okay, and for example, if I take the Na2SO4, what is the value of I? Since it is an ionic compound. When it is an ionic compound, simply see here Na2SO4. When it is dissolved in water, how many Na plus ions will be formed? Here 2 Na are there. So 2 Na plus ions will be formed. And how many SO4 ions are there? Only 1. So 1 SO4 ion will be, SO4 minus 2 ion will be formed. So 2 plus 1, that is 3. So the value of I is nearly 3. By using these number of particles which are formed after dissociation, you can able to get the approximate value of I. Okay, so this is also one way to find the value of I, simply by observing the molecular formula of an ionic compound. Okay, so this is all about the abnormal molar mass and all about the chapter solutions. This completes the chapter solutions.